Okay, so I'm just going to go through the output that's generated when you get repeated measures in ANOVA. So the very first table you get is your within subjects factor. So I've got beer against positive imagery, beer and negative imagery, and beer and neutral imagery. All right, and so you can do the same thing for wine and positive, wine and negative, wine and neutral, water and positive, water and negative, and water and neutral. Okay, so if you scroll down, you've got descriptive stats. And so what does this mean? This first one tells you that when the person was given beer and they looked at a image of sexy hipsters, all right, then they had an attitude of 21.05. So when they had a beer and they looked at dead bodies, they had an attitude of 4.45. And when they looked at beer and average people, which was the neutral, they had an attitude of 10. All right, so here are your means given the um, what they drank and the image that they saw. And then this is your mean average attitude ratings. Okay, your multivariate tests, these are all significant. So on this table, just for right now, we're going to pass on this table, and I want you to look down here at your Markley's test of sphericity. So again, this is the significance value we're looking at. We notice that drinks are significant, imagery significant, and the interaction is not significant. And we want this value to be greater than 0.05. So they're not. Okay, so we're going to go down and we're going to look at our tests of within subjects. So this is a pretty big table. I don't want you to be intimidated by it because I'm going to walk you right through it. Okay, so because we said that drinks was significant, we are going to interpret the greenhouse geyser. All right, so we're going to interpret this value right here, and this tells us there is a significant effect on the type of drink and the attitude. So just drink by itself had an effect on a person's attitude. Okay, imagery was also significant. We looked at that greenhouse geyser, and it was also significant, indicating that imagery by itself had an effect on attitude. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. And this one, sphericity was assumed, and here we can say that when you're looking at the type of drink and the imagery given to the person, there is a significant effect on attitude. Okay, so we're going to scroll down a little bit more. I'm not going to worry too much about that table right here. Estimated marginal means. So this is looking, because we said drinks was significant. So we're saying that it's comparing the means of beer, wine, and water. So where is the significant difference? All right, so if I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, and we're going to see that there is a significant difference between beer and wine and water. All right, because this value right here is significant. So there's a significant difference in attitude between 2 and 3. So there's a significant difference between 8 and 3. So I'm going to scroll down even some more. We're going to look at imagery and how does imagery affect attitude? What image did they see? And again, I'm going to scroll down here and you're going to see that there's a significant difference in attitude given the images between all of the variables. And then I'm going to scroll down even more, and ultimately I'm going to look at the interaction. So your blue line here represents positive imagery. Your green line represents neutral imagery, and your red line represents negative imagery. Okay, so what this interaction is telling us, these two look very familiar versus this one right here. All right, so when they had beer, they pretty much, in this particular imagery given, they scored higher. And when they had wine, they had a worse attitude, and they had a worse attitude with water. All right, so this interaction ultimately tells you the interaction between the type of drink that the person consumed and the imagery that was used.